Hey beautiful people, it is your girl Ashmi Mgonga. If you are new to this channel, thank you for joining me and kindly subscribe to become part of this family. And if you are a returnee, welcome back and thank you for coming back by. So today I'm finally doing the video that a lot of you guys have been asking for. Basically my experience as a community service professional nurse, basically a ComServe. So the transition from being a student to a professional nurse has been crazy, and it's only been 8 months. Like I started in Feb this year and it's like October now. It has been crazy. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but please do bear with me because a lot has happened. So my first rotation or placement was in a neonatal ward, and that's basically where my heart is. So there you get babies that come from ICU, like babies that had like breathing problems or babies that were close to death basically. So after they recover from ICU, then they come to us, or immediately after they are born, like in the wards, and then they can't breathe or they need oxygen or they have jaundice or low glucose levels, whatever that is not for ICU but still is like a critical condition. Then they come to us, then we basically take care of them. Listen, it was insane. It was insane. And the fact that I was working with like 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, and they were calling me sister because now I am their senior, you know, because they are nurses and I'm the sister, so I'm the professional nurse. So I have to like, and obviously I had superior, which is another nurse. So in the neonatal ward there's 2 sisters, so it's the one that's above me and then me, and then everyone else is like a nurse or students. So basically I was in charge, and it's crazy because if something happens to like a baby, if they come to you for advice, or you have to manage the baby or whatever because you are the senior. Crazy, because I am so used to, or as a student I was so used to someone else being in charge and having to ask that person, okay, what do we do now, or can I do this? Because that's like your superior, that's like your supervisor, so you ask them, and now I am that person. So you can imagine it's like first few weeks, and I don't know, like my transition was crazy because as now the sister, I have to tell 40 to 50-year-olds what to do. I have to allocate, like I have to tell them, okay, you do this, you do that. And it's crazy. Like imagine telling your mother what to do, like, mama, go cook, clean the house, do that, but now in the hospital space. So like, okay, feed that baby, that baby needs 1 2 3, so can you do that? Now I have to allocate people to do certain things. But what I loved about them, they were willing to do it. And trust me, I learned half or even more of the things I know now from the nurses, not even from the sisters. I learned from the nurses because they've been there for like years, and they basically ran the ward. So I wasn't running the ward alone. Yes, I was like the sister, but they did a lot, and the knowledge that I have is because of them. Without them, goodness, I would have been a wreck. So grateful. Neonatal, I loved it. It was challenging because hey bana, you will get a baby who weighs 500 grams, like a packet of chips, like so small, like my hand is even big, like the babies are that small. and then you have to incubate them. You have to put NGT cubes because some of them can't feed by themselves, so now you have to put the cube that you're gonna give them medication in, or like food, like milk. No, not food, milk. So it was crazy because they're small and they have so much saliva, and then you have to put this cube, and then it comes out thrice a day because of the saliva, and you obviously putting tape, so it's gonna come loose if there's saliva coming out. So it was crazy, but I had like, so that is where my heart is, the neonatal ward. Like, I met people, like the nurses, they were literally like my family. Like, some were like my mother. Like, they respected me, I respected them. They made sure that my stay, basically, or my placement was like easy. I could ask them anything, they would literally like go a mile to assist me in whatever I needed. So I had like the best placement there. And then I went to the pits. And then this place is like that place was close to hell. I don't know how hell is, but that place is like close to hell. C ward. So C ward is the mixture of everything. You get antenatals, you get postnatals. Antenatals are basically mothers that have not given birth. Postnatals is mothers who have given birth. And then you also have COVID positive patients, whether they're antenates or postnates. So it's a mixture of everything. And then you are placed at the back where there's like what, 8, even 10 patients. You have to put CTGs on them and make sure that they receive medication before the doctors come. Doctors come at any time, even at 8 o'clock, and we start at 7. So the CTG that I'm speaking about is basically a machine that monitors the baby's heart rate and also like the mother's condition, like if she's getting contractions or whatnot. So we have to do all of that. And you know, some doctors are very bitchy. So if certain things are not done, they'll be like, why is this not done? Why not? And bear in mind, you're looking after what, 12 patients, and you have to do all that before they come. Yeah. First day, I remember vividly. Listen, first day I came to that ward, it was on a Sunday. On a Sunday, and there was an emergency. I remember the sister kept asking me to fetch things. Listen, it's my first day. I have not been orientated. I don't know where anything is, but I'm being told to fetch this, fetch that, fetch this, because this person has to go to theater. Hella, I was running like a headless chicken, trying to figure things out, trying to look for things, because I have not been orientated. I don't know where anything is. It was a mess. Mamela, listen. I used to track like how my steps are like on my phone. Usually in the neonatal ward where I came from, 5,000, 6,000, like that was the average. Listen, that first day I had 13,000 steps. My feet were aching. I was miserable. Yo, that day. And Mamela, listen, the last time I was asked to put a catheter in, and the last time I put a catheter in was in my 2nd year, and now it's basically like my 5th year. I was told to put a catheter in. I know that I'm supposed to put it in a hole somewhere in the vagina. So I think I put it in the wrong hole. I think I put it in the, instead of the, what is this now? The urethra. I put it in like the vagina. It's a hole, isn't it? But it's the wrong hole. I know better now. Come on. It was like the first day, and we had to rush to get this person to theater. So, yo, the sister even asked me to put a drip in. And in my life, I'll only put the drip once. And that one time, I feel like it was a miracle, because that nurse where I was working, And as a student, she asked me to put it on, and she showed me how to put it in, not put it on, put it in. And I managed to put it in because that person had nice veins. Now imagine, I don't know where what is, I'm being asked to put in a catheter. I did not manage to do it. I mean, managed to put in a drip. I didn't. I was unable to. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. And she's like, hey bo, I fakangale drip. And I'm like, I didn't manage. Like, I didn't manage to do it. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know how to because I did it once. And that knowledge was gone. Like, in order for you to know something, like for you to know a skill, you have to practice. And doing it once, getting lucky for the first time is not knowing how to do it. And yeah, I was like, I don't know. And I feel like she really expected me to know a lot, and I was still in my student mentality, let me put it that way. Though that day was hell. That day was hell. Okay, few weeks went by and I feel like I was just getting in control of things. But I mean, the nurse that I was working with, she was horrible. I don't want to sugarcoat. She was the only nurse that I've come across in the whole hospital in my 8 months that has been like horrible. Everyone else has been like, you do get those difficult people, but you can't be difficult to everyone. Literally everyone complains about her, and I was working with her. Like, I would literally go to another sister in other rooms to ask for certain things. If I wanted something or wanted to know something, I wouldn't go to her. A person who's working with me, I wouldn't do that. I would go because you just never know what she's gonna say. And I just didn't want her to like ruin my mood, so I would just not even bother with her and go to the other sister. And one thing I also didn't like was the fact that she liked comparing. She'd be like, you know, CSP Banbani, like the other concept that she was working with. I liked him because he used to ask 1, 2, 3, and 4. No. When you just do your own thing, yo. And I'm like, that's because, you know, sometimes I really don't like asking. I'll rather do it myself. And then she saw that as like I'm being like a know-it-all, even though like I knew some of the things, like I didn't need her help, but she just wanted me to keep on asking her, and I didn't want to do that. So she felt like I was just a Miss Know-it-all, and she was like, you know, I liked him because he used to ask every day, and I didn't even care if he was asking me the whole time he didn't know stuff, but the fact that he's asking me shows that he's willing to learn. And I'm like, I don't need to ask you if I know how to do it. She didn't like that because I seemed to have known it all. But the thing is, I didn't really know everything, but I'm a very confident person, and when I do something, I do it with confidence. So you'd swear I know how to do it, but like deep down I don't. But if I have to ask, I will ask. So yeah, she was just a very sour person. Like she was sour. She doesn't greet in the mornings. Like it's just the worst person you can ever work with. So I spent 1 month in that ward, and I was so grateful because a rotation is like 3 months, and God knew, but my daughter does not deserve this place. Like, her mental well-being will just crumble. Like no, like I was miserable for that month, for that entire month. And I was glad I only spent a month. I don't know what happened, but like both the CSPs were like opposite shift. Just a month, then we were taken out of the ward, and there were like no CSPs, and I was glad. And then I went to B ward. B ward is hectic, right? Workload is a lot, but the people there make it worthwhile. B ward is cesarean mothers, it's postnatal, so it's people that had cesarean section, they go there. So you're not only dealing with mothers, but you're also dealing with babies because they have delivered now. So you're taking care of the mother and you're also taking care of the baby. So it's like double the work. But one thing I like is that if maybe like you are allocated in like a specific room, when you're not done with your work, another sister will continue. There's 3 sisters in that ward. So if you're not done and they probably done, then they will come and assist you, which is what I liked. And if I was done, I'd go to the other sisters and just check, okay, what have they not done, what needs to be completed and all of that, and I would assist. So yeah, I loved that ward because not only was like teamwork, but also the sisters were young, so we could laugh, we could talk about silly things, boyfriends, and talk about their husbands and just being silly, man. Like, it was young sisters, so everything was just smooth. Like, literally everything was just smooth. It was, you'd even forget that the workload is so much because you're just happy, you laughing, you will, like, in the morning you feel like going to work because you know that it's just gonna be like an easy day. Yes, the work is there, it's a lot, but like it's just gonna be smooth, man. The days when I was working in C ward, I would dread waking up in the morning. Like, the only reason I went to work was because I have to, you know. Otherwise, if I was a student and I could just sleep, I would do that. I would just sleep. But because I had to, I would wake up and go to work and dread the entire day. B ward was second best ward because of the teamwork and everything. Workload was a lot. Having to take care of, oh my goodness, you know, when you place in room 3 and 4, that's where the fresh Caesars are there, and they can't mobilize for 12 hours. So that entire 12 hours you have to do everything for them. Everything. You have to fetch them from theater, you have to put them in their rooms, you have to take their pads off, you do everything because they're just laying in bed. Like, they're just laying in bed. You do everything. And then after the 12 hours, then they are able to mobilize, and you give them water, clean water, so that they can wash. Then they go to other rooms. Yeah, well, and you also give them whatever they need, like morphine, which is basically an analgesia for like the pain. You do everything, man. Like, you literally become their legs. Like, everything is done by you. Yeah, so that was like the busy rooms. The other rooms were like chilled because they are still fresh Caesars, but they are able like to walk around, to move around. And so it was, and you also discharge a lot. You discharge a lot. But yeah, that was it. Then now I am in first stage. So first stage is basically like the first stage of labor before they go to either delivery or before they go to theater. So labor ward will basically like induce the mothers if maybe they are like chronic hypertension or gestational hypertension, or yeah, basically like there should be like a reason why they induce. You can't just induce them because you're like, oh, okay, you know what, I feel like I need to induce you. Only when there's like a need and the baby like needs to be delivered. So yeah, those are usually like GPHs, gestational hypertension, chronic hypertension, or maybe they had like a stillbirth before, or they had like a previous Caesar, then they also go there. Or like there's many indications, man, why they would go to us. Like, we like the emergency place where they are kept, if I can put it that way. Like, they can't go to like the normal ward, they have to come to us because they are an emergency, like anything can happen. It's, how can I say, man, I feel like if I had a different sister to work with, everything would be fine. Because the sister I'm working with, she is not, it's only like also her, she's been there for like 5 months, so she is not as, how can I say, I wouldn't say competent, but she's still also finding her feet because she's been working in labor ward. So now this is also like a new place for her. So, and yeah, man, I honestly don't know how to explain it. And also she panics when things are not going her way. So if maybe there's like a lot of emergencies, she panics. She sometimes she works on my nerves. I don't want to lie, because I'm a very chilled person. I'm chilled in a sense. There will be an emergency, I don't want to be everywhere. I want to focus on that, make sure that it is done, then I do other things. Yeah, now she's here, there and there. Sometimes you don't even know what she's doing because she's everywhere. She's not organized, like she's just all over the place. If I do that, if I'm here, there and then I'll forget to finish that, and then yeah, well, so I like order. I like finishing things and then doing other things. Yeah, now she's everywhere. Then she panics if something is not done. If this is missing, she goes crazy. Yo, this one time, I literally wanted to strangle her. Yo, Mamela, it was something to 7. No, something to 8. And then we had given this lady pitocin, which is oxytocin, so that it's like it's a drug that makes the contraction stronger, so that the cervix open. Because once the ladies or the woman contract a lot, then the cervix open, then the baby will come out. So the doctors prescribed pitocin or oxytocin, and then she was starting to get pain. And she was like, so sister, I want to go to the bathroom. And I told her, no, you can't go to the bathroom because I just gave you this and it needs to work. And when we give you strong medication, you need to be on the CTG. We can't take you out. We need to monitor the baby. And she was going crazy. Yo, she wanted everything. I want to go to the bathroom, I want to do this, I want to make number 2. And usually when they want to make number 2, it's usually the baby pressing down, yeah, so it's not number 2 per se, but it's the baby's head, yeah. So I told her, no, that's not number 2, that's the baby. She's like, sister, I want to go. So then while I was busy, because I mean it's almost 6, it's like the end of the day now, because at 7 the night shift comes, so we need to make sure that everything is done. We're writing our reports, like yonke it needs to be done. Then I smelled something from this patient that was going on, and I was like, oh, she probably made number 2. Fine. I was like, okay, before the other patients start complaining that it's smelly, let me just go clean. Yes, we do clean number 2s, guys. We do those things. We do the dirty work. So I was like, okay, let me go check out what's going on. And then she was laying on her back, legs wide open, and I'm like, yeah, this is not only number 2. Yes, there's a number 2, but the baby's head is crowning. It is there, I can see it. So we in first stage, where they deliver is second stage, just like the labor ward. We don't deliver in first stage, which means that we don't have the delivery packs and everything that we need for the baby, like the scale and what. We don't have that. Only thing we have is sterile gloves. That's the only thing I had. Did I not tell the sister that, sister, we need to deliver this baby because the head is crowning? There was even a doctor there. Hey, sister, gone, nowhere to be found. Listen, last time I delivered was in 3rd year. This is like the 5th year now. 3rd year was the last time I delivered, and I delivered 17 babies successfully. Thank you very much. So I was like, oh my god, and I can't wait on this sister because she disappeared. I need to deliver this baby, otherwise this baby is gonna suffocate because the head is coming out. And I told this lady not to push, you must just wait on me to come to her. So she's basically trying to restrict the baby from coming out, and I basically wore the gloves. And let me tell you, everything I learned in university when it comes to delivering, it came back that moment I was delivering the baby. So I was like, okay, head is coming out, the head must rotate, and then I feel for the cord. While I'm doing that, I'm supporting the perineum so that she does not tear, and then I pull the shoulder comes out, and I make sure that both shoulders are coming out, because that's like really the difficult part, because the shoulders are like wide, so it's really painful. While I'm doing that, I'm trying to support this perineum so this vagina does not tear. I'm taking the baby out. Okay, while the baby comes out, properly put the baby upside down and stimulate the baby, dry the baby's head, because if the baby's head is not wet, then if the baby's head is not properly dried, then they lose heat, and that's not what we want. So I'm doing all of these things, and now I see that okay, this lady is bleeding, but then I wasn't sure what type of tear it is. But at first I thought it's a laceration. Lacerations, you don't need to really suture because it will close by itself. But then I was like, no man, I gave the mother the baby. I put the baby on the chest. So now I'm looking for things now. That's only when the sister came back. She came back with the delivery pack. I've already done the delivery, it's done, the baby's there, baby cried, like everything is fine. And then I was like, okay sister, can you please suture her, because I didn't do suturing, guys. I don't want to lie, I didn't do suturing. I only did like one stitch, practice one stitch, and I was done. Literally, I didn't bother with that, and now it came back. So I was like, okay, can you please suture her, because she needs to be sutured, and I am not competent in that. And she was like, I'm not touching the patient. I asked her, what do you mean you're not touching the patient? It's like, that's your patient, not mine. And I was like, so you wanted me basically to leave the baby there and just let the baby suffocate, or let the mother deliver by herself and tear, and you never know what could have happened. She's like, that's not my patient. Did she not leave me with the patient? I had to go to labor ward to ask for a sister to come and suture this lady here while she continued with other things. Then she asked me to do paperwork that I have not done. Even as a student, we didn't really do paperwork. We just deliver the baby, and the sisters would do the paperwork, because usually with the delivery there's like 2 people. One delivers, the other one does the paperwork. I had to do everything by myself. Luckily the night shift came and they assisted me. This lady decided to take the report and go home, and I even had to hand over the patients, tell them, okay, this is what this is the reason why she's here. But then the night shift, oh my goodness, they were so amazing. They were like, okay, you don't need to hand over, we'll just read the files and get to know the patient ourselves. You just finish with the paperwork. They assist me with everything, and I went home. That was the worst day I had in first stage, and I told myself that, listen, I am not gonna let it go. I will definitely tell the operational manager of what happened, and that's exactly what I did. I told her everything that happened, and the OM called us to the office, and I explained. And her excuse was it was very busy that night, and she wanted to come and support me, but she couldn't. She had to do other things because things were not done. But even the manager told her that was an emergency. Other things would have waited, like paperwork, or not paperwork, like reports that can wait. But that was an emergency. You focus on that. Like you focus on them, like the urgent things. And she apologized. And I even told the OM that she disappeared. So she said that she had a headache, so she had to go take a pill. And I was like, okay, while I'm delivering, when you think of taking tablets, Panado, really? Anyway, after that, literally, I don't even bother with her. I just do what I'm supposed to do. And when I'm working with like a different sister, like everything just goes smoothly. Like everything just goes smooth, and I'm like, okay, really, I know what the problem is now. It's definitely not me. But yeah, and I'm still working there right now. So everything is better now in the sense that I know what's going on. I know how to manage things, and yeah. So it's going good. And next month I'm going to request to go to labor ward so that I can practice suturing, and because I don't want to be an incompetent person. Like I want to know everything that's going on. So remember I told you guys that I couldn't put up a drip. I'm an expert. Give me any vein, I will put up a drip. I used to be scared when there's like a dark person in like color, because you can't really see the veins, but now I can do it. Even if it's like a deep vein, give me that. Like usually the sister will ask the doctors to put up a drip if a patient is going to theater. I will do it myself. I will put those catheters in. Like I even taught this other nurse how to put the catheter so that I don't have to do it. Now the nurse does it for me. Well, she's not supposed to. It's not in a scope, but she wants to do it. She's willing, and then she wanted me to teach her so she can do it. So now she does it. So yeah, you just have to know how to delegate and do all those things. So as I said, it has been eventful, but like I'm enjoying it. Stressful, but we have to do it. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed my experience, and I will see you next time. Bye. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Bye.